But there was another game in the American League that was not a final score of 10-9. The Cleveland Guardians and the Tampa Bay Rays played a game for the ages, and it went until the 15th inning when the Cleveland Guardians walked it off in the 15th. 15 innings, 0-0 until the final.
This was the epitome of a pitching duel. 14 scoreless innings, making it the longest scoreless game in postseason history. So this is the question I have for you, and I asked fans at home too.
Shaking that
it is. I'm shaking.
Okay.
Do you prefer, because we saw both today, do you prefer a pitching duel or do you prefer an offensive explosion? And we saw both, because we started with the pitching duel. It was 5+ hours of a pitching duel. And then we saw the craziest offensive explosion with the Blue Jays and the Mariners.
So
what game did you like watching better? Come on.
That's tough. That's
No,
tough.
it's not. What did you like watching better?
What game did I like watching better?
Yep.
I would say in the end, the Jays Mariners 10-9 game ended up better for watching. But I don't think that's fair for me to answer the question that way. The original question would you rather a pitcher's duel or an offensive explosion?
Yep.
One, I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think it's different strokes for different folks. You can pick whatever you want. I happen to like I like pitchers duels. I think a 0-0 ball game that ends 1-0 in the 15th is a bit of an extreme version of that. Like, give me, I like a 2-1 game where both starters pitch into the 9th and then a closer comes on and 2-1 ball game. It's intense throughout. I don't think there's anything wrong to say, because this became a huge talking point on social media throughout this game, is this game is great. This game's so boring. This game's awful. This game's incredible. It was all over the map. I think it's totally fair to say that it was a good baseball game. I would have liked a little bit more offense. I mean, there's a difference between a pitcher's duel. The Cleveland Guardians swept this series, hitting 178 on the series. That game on Saturday, or the Saturday game, the one that happened today, 38 strikeouts, broke the all-time postseason franchise record. I mean, yes, it was a great pitcher's duel, and Shane Bieber or Tristan McKenzie was fantastic. Tyler Glasnow was fantastic, but there was really no action on I would have liked a little more action on the base pass. There were some great defensive plays, but I think it's fair to say I love pitcher's duels, but I would have liked a little more hits thrown in there.
See, I am 100% offensive explosion. Pitching duels, I feel like I'm just full of anxiety watching the game. Every at bat, every pitch matters, because they've held it to scoreless innings up until that point. Meanwhile, when I'm watching an offensive explosion, it's like, yeah, excitement. This is cool. Yeah, whoa. You're like all over the place, but you're more like outgoing. And I feel like I turn inward when I'm watching like a pitching duel. Like,
so I guess
oh
it's like, what emotion do you want? Because you need that anxiety, edge of your seat. You're scared of what's going to happen next. Like sometimes you need that. It's like, give me that postseason anxiety.
No more anxiety.
Sometimes you need that, and we got that in that game. I mean, it was edge of your seat.
Yeah,
and I think this is a fair point to bring up answering your question. I know the games were at different places, but when that Guardians Rays game was going on, that it was either this is really boring or this is great. Everybody was watching that game.
Oh, yeah.
0-0 going into the 15th. Everybody's still watching that game. But the Cleveland Guardians end up pulling it out. Oscar Gonzalez hits a walk-off absolute tank.
Yeah.
Bomb, walks it off. Cleveland Guardians advance, heading to New York. But what a series that was. The Guardians are the 8th youngest team. Let me start over.
Yeah.
The Guardians are the youngest team in baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the 8th time in history that the youngest team in baseball has made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you can see it when you're watching the game. Not because it's young, immature immature things happening on the field where boneheaded mistakes, none of that. You can just see the jubilation with every single thing. Teams that have been here before, they get big outs and it's just like, all right, now we go. You look in the dugout when the Guardians get a hit or make a big play. Guys are jumping up on the dugout railing. They're so pumped. This game was so much fun. It ended with that walk-off home run. They brought a cooler to home plate to dump on Oscar Gonzalez. They dropped it. There's just so much excitement going on. I loved this game. I had a lot of fun watching it.
The ending was great. And Oscar Gonzalez, mind you, one of 17 players on the Guardians to make his major league debut this season. Now, this is why young teams are dangerous. They haven't experienced that pressure yet. Like you were saying, the excitement that you see after they have a big out or a big hit. This is the first time they're experiencing.
Yeah, they're too young to even know what they're doing.
These emotions, especially at this level and in the playoffs. They don't know what it means not to get there.
Yeah.
This is their first year in the big leagues, and they are in the postseason, and they won their first series. That team who is fearless and they don't know what to expect, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
So, great game there. Guardians sweep when a lot of people were picking the Rays. I know myself, Alex did as well. Most of our Fox crew that they put, A-Rod picked the Rays. They were the sexy pick to upset in the first round. But no. The young Cleveland Guardians, the youngest playoff team in baseball. The youngest team in baseball, they make it. They're the 8th time that has ever happened, and the first time since the 1986 Mets that the youngest team in baseball has made the playoffs. And they win their first series. They are advancing. So let's take a look at the playoff bracket now that the American League side has been talked about. Guardians advance. So the Guardians will be going to New York. Now it's a 5-game series. The setup will be 2-2-1. First 2 games in New York, second 2 games in Cleveland, a game 5, if need be, back in New York. Storyline here, Miles Straw is going back to New York. Last time that happened, fans were throwing trash at him. He was jumping up into the stands. It will be madness in center field in New York. So Guardians and Yankees and the Mariners who advanced over the Jays, we get an AL West showdown in the American League Division Series. Thanks for watching. If you love Flippin Bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.